is that President Akufo-Addo have mismanaged this country. President Akufo-Addo have destroyed the country. Even the place he operated from have not been well kept.
But Mustafa,
it is not just the public purse.
Why then would we be hosting this year's Independence Day celebration from an unkept place? Adentia.
Do you want us to spend a lot of money when we are complaining that Ghanaians don't have money?
Yeah, but
is that what you want the government to do?
We cannot also host such a celebration. Do you
prioritize ceremonies than people who cannot pay their hospital bills? Do you prioritize ceremonies than people whose bonds cannot be honored? The people Kenofuriata starved, punished, some have died. Old ladies who were sitting at Ministry of Finance crying. Kenofuriata didn't have the conscience, the empathy for old people, pensioners. He locked up their funds. Do you prioritize than celebration than these people? Modesty is important when it comes to protecting the public purse. Conserving public resources is important when it comes to managing the public purse. And that is what the president is doing. And so when we say, we will not take Steve Match out of Accra just to save our resources, but also find a way to live monumentally the program or the yearly we should be able to satisfy it at the same time conserving money to prioritize I think that is the best decision a new government can ever take.
Mustafa, we know say on state vehicles no omanpanyin issue fiat say a man appointee bia ento state vehicle bia, and we are told that was diligently followed through. Ain't your back cars on same with appointees, it should not be a problem, meboa.
Who pass Egbert Sebo? The Petroleum Commission.
Yes.
Maybe some saloon car I won't feel in your Petroleum Commission car.
Hey, Nansano. And some men are okay.
Mr. Friend Nebisano. Ghana Supply. CEO. The car has the place has a 4x4 car and a BMW. The BMW as a speak or the coffee.
A official car.
Official car.
What like we tria huska.
Me say, all these people. Yeah, Bangalore. Yeah, Mammy Frema Padi or Opare. Kesi be an ye tracy a call honum. We found not less than 15 number plates in the house without the vehicles. Okay. I can send you all the pictures and the videos. Obi, come and sit with the Director of Transport and Logistics and ask how many cars have they come to meet at the presidency. And these are the people who are jumping about, pretending to say that they are clean.
Are you saying, sir, despite the directive from the president, appointees not still bought their cars? Is that what you're saying? And there is
the president was saying that no appointee should buy a new car, but he himself bought new cars. His fleet of cars, he had the highest convoy any president have ever had in the history of this country, including dedicating one to his seat.
But those were cars. No, Mustafa. Those were cars and now used while serving as president. The directive was said appointees are free of buying money. They should not buy their cars.
That president was the same man who said that if you want money in government, go to private sector. But his own brother privatized the entire government. So do you take his letter serious? He was the one who said he was in a hurry. Okay? So therefore, no appointee should take first class, but yet he was renting private jets.
No. Now
you take his word serious.
You are confusing the issues, Mustafa.
I'm not confusing you. Let me land.
Maybe. The American say during the transition period, inventory of state properties were taken.
And I'm saying that, yes, a president issued an order.
Yes.
That all state officials should return their vehicles. And I'm saying that, were you expecting the appointees who, at the back of the president's previous directives, for people not to steal, have stolen money, people not to live, opulently, they have lived opulently? Do you expect that letter to be taken serious? I'm not talking about letters, I'm talking about reality. And I'm talking about reality.
Yes, and because you've mentioned Egbert Fabil Dean specifically, you are saying, say, saloon car, a one a buying car. Is that what you said?
They say you should ask him if he has handed over all his vehicles that he has used belonging to Petroleum Commission back to the place. Ask him if during transition he hasn't done recruitment at Petroleum Commission. Ask him if during transition he has not held about 5 board meetings at Petroleum Commission. Ask him.
Yeah, but during transition, that's a letter asking him to set aside and get away from the office. He's still the CEO. Into your board meeting, what's wrong with that?
Yes. Are you justifying these things? It's embarrassing.
No, I'm not justifying. The American say, for all the CEOs, letters were sent to them asking them to step aside. During the transition period, he is still CEO of the place. That's the point I'm making.
I'm not talking about he being a CEO or not being a CEO. I'm talking about activities that have taken place even within the period of transition that you can describe as unethical.
No, how is it unethical? So we a CEO now say.
Are you saying that it's ethical for people to be piling up cost on the state when they know that government have dissolved and a new government was being formed?
No, you made a point about board meetings.
Yes.
Recruitment need any another issue. Board meetings are making.
What would be the exigency at Petroleum Commission to allow for 5 board meetings within the period of transition? And you should be asking them. Call them and ask them. See me, I've told you. If I've goofed anywhere, I'll come back and apologize and retract. But ask them if anything I'm saying is a lie. I'm just telling you how they have milked and destroyed this country. But yet, in 1 month, they want us to think that they are clean people.
But how are you sure and certain, sir, the private car you speak about in the case of Egbert Fabil, a state vehicle, as a Petroleum Commission vehicle? How sure are you?
You understand me? Say, we're handing over all the cars now.
Sir, you don't expect him to come and prove. And one hour car, some to one hour say who prove. Say, in fact,
no, it's not in all circumstances.
Yeah, the only circumstance where in case are circumstances now. The circumstance where the burden will shift onto the accused person, where in count. In a way that you are making.
And I must say,
yes.
When I have served in a state capacity as a public officer, I have questions to answer to the public. Let me say, let's ask these state officials, have you handed over all your vehicles to the state? The vehicles that you used as official vehicles, have you handed over those vehicles? It's not malicious. It's not defamatory. I'm asking questions. Ask my senior brother if he didn't do recruitment within the period of transition. Ask him what would have necessitated Petroleum Commission to hold about 5 board meetings in a row within the period of transition. Is that not an attempt? And I am saying this one, that is it not an attempt to compile, to increase, to balloon debt responsibilities of the incoming government? Is it not an attempt to further increase the burden on the people of Ghana, to cause them pain? Is it not so?
Okay. Mustafa Mreninti, finally, on the state of our Jubilee House as you describe, what will be done because monso muntimi entwa so entna de woka se eho aye basa no muntimi entna so entna musa enti den na mobeye me pa chew
yetimu sa nkyerɛ sɛ bɛn nka ho asɛm o
said the America say you can't want to move here.
Opare Rolls Royce now we benya hard body a obetena mu saa Ghana for na ebre yetimu saa omampanyin timu saa but it is testament of the fact that a group of people lived at the presidency and they left the place very dirty and unkept. Lack of maintenance, lack of supervision, poor job. They didn't live it the same way they treat their private homes. Because it is for the people of Ghana, they didn't care. No duty, no respect. Information that I know now, HSS. Most state vehicles are MPP for a issue. Abra omo abayemono cannot be found.
How is that? A buying class, no.
So that is the bizarre situation now. I said a friend woman also a bit more journey. So one telephone number so that's okay. And fair woman in this woman. So one more cars I know we use to know. I was him for Obi. Yeah, I can't now almost so any politics and score political points. But you see, at the end of the day, can't afford every the ordinary taxpayer between 25% and 30% goes into taxes. Okoton suya utuya tax. Okoto edura utuya tax. Niema boa ehwa de nene ehiafo a womobre. They are at the center of our political discourse. And so as much as possible, we should be real with the issues, frank with the issues, and very frontal with what is wrong. Look, another year, you can year MPP for a press conference. I was shocked. I asked myself, sir, is it a vindication, sir? I would have thought that the government was engaged in illicit corruption, dissipation of public purse, reckless management of public interest resources, mismanagement of the country, and stealing of state money. And that political parties are not established by law to condone, to support, to help, to aid in any form or shape any activity that undermines the collective resolve of the people. The manifestation of that uproar was to the effect that MPP have lost election with figures they have never lost before in the history of the creation of their party. Only for me to see Sowamabeye press conference to defend all the issues Ghanaians are talking against. What will be making? The Woko Jubilee House, Omanpenyi Akachia. You would weep at the Bola.
Hey, Aden.
Obi, I will invite you to the place. You see, people are not talking about it. And to be who said in Parliament, who suit dishonestly defending what is wrong. Nyamebe punish woman. But let me tell you, Woko Jubilee House is here. You ask yourself, were there human beings living there?
Offices now, I say the general environment.
The entire Jubilee House have been reduced to nothing.
Hey.
Very dirty, unkept, misused, lack of maintenance. Bibiaye Basa at the seat of the president.
Now Jubilee House no I'm
telling you, sir, I'm inviting you. That was where President Akufo-Addo was operating from until 7th January.
Yeah, but
and I can describe it as a dirty place, a place of filth.
I'm asking Mustafa, say the halls are Omanpenyin swear ministers ni in, no? Is that also part of the rundown place? I can answer me.
There be say hall there a hall. The Jubilee House is a big place. Come to a tour and see. I was thinking, sir, when the regional ministers were complaining, there was some element of a you until I went to the Jubilee House. So you ask yourself, every year in, year out, that the presidential budget was ballooned at the expense of the ordinary taxpayer. No? You ask yourself, what were they doing? Look, gardening is poor, painting, nothing, lighting, poor, misuse of furniture. The entire building is unkept. Or do you ask yourself if intellectuals were the people who occupy the Jubilee House, people who hold Louis Vuitton suits and watches and bags, people who have taste for dollars, were they the people operating from the presidency?
Mustafa, is this a ploy to want to get a budget for the renovation of the place? And I will be throw away in to test the waters and answer there.
I'm telling you, come and see. You know, say me what is wrong, I'll talk about it. Come, go to the place. You see, you should help us build this country. Me, I don't do politics. So I do my politics as a ministry. The judgment is between me and God. But let me tell you what is wrong. I will talk about it. Let me not be remembered for being a hypocrite, but a young man who stood for the cause of justice and what is right. The ordinary Ghanaian is suffering. Obi pe 20 Ghana cedis. Akwa kutre duane ne wontimi nya. Obi the hospital ya hye no oniska obi triaka. Owufo bi su said you obehwe ne mampo oniska no wahwe ne ma. If you have state officials who have lived very recklessly, managed, destroy the country, different from what they do to their private companies, then you ask yourself there, was it deliberate malice to punish the people of Ghana? Was it incompetence? Was it recklessness? Or it is just shared wickedness on the part of the regime of President Akufo-Addo and his appointees to punish the people of Ghana for making them come into the presidency of Ghana?
Yeah, but Mustafa, you'd also realize hitherto na Jubilee House and Nim Holons ne wo hono obehwena aye dry, aye brown, tan, and I recall when Nana-Addo came to occupy the Jubilee House, one of the first things from Moye is to bring back the lush green nature of the lawns, no. And I'm not for be brave, so I recall, what you are saying now, no, a bit weird that the Jubilee House.
I'm not. You are a journalist, well respected. We are in here. Come to the Jubilee House, visit the, and then you say whether I'm speaking from the sky or I'm speaking from experience, and then the conversation says. What the person has come to meet must stop. The reality is that Obi, the carpenter kunyana na esi ukonso anymore. Now better wheelchair. It is not enough to say that by the time you leave Asempa, you should put back a carpentry chair.
Yeah.
It is not enough. And I'm saying that the presidency was recklessly managed. They ran down the place. It's dirty.
Wow.
I'm saying it. If you want, come and visit the place. Will MPP also defend this kind of acts?
Mustafa, what it is about a horse is here. Is it some heaps of refuse and now furniture na ya say no curtains na say walls na paintings na why what actually is the problem?
Did you actually for once interviewed the regional ministers? Did you send your people to visit the region?
I went to Ashanti region myself. And
did you see it?
Many of my in the breaking story the state of the residency of Ashanti region. Yes, I saw.
Did you see it?
I saw it.
You testified that it was unkept.
Yes, it was terrible.
You also testified that the person who was the regional minister was educated and an elite, a politician of this country?
Yes, he was not living in the residency actually. Now,
do you also know that Volta region, the regional minister is one of the richest persons in the Volta region today?
I know he's a private businessman. That's also a richest.
That is
Volta
correct.
Region, I don't
because
know.
I schooled there, and the regional minister owned one of the biggest hotels.
Yes, Sky
one
Plus,
of the biggest
Sky
malls.
Plus Hotel. I know of Sky
So
Plus.
I then tell you that the residency was run down as we speak. And so the question is, will these individuals manage their homes the way they have managed government facilities? Let me go back to Ashanti region before I come back to the Jubilee House. The way the regional minister have run down the residency, which is a government installation, and the excuse is that he wasn't living there. Is it justifying the fact that he's not living there? We should abandon state properties to be run down? And if you come to the case of the Jubilee House, if you go to Eastern region, the regional minister cannot go and live at the residency. Just run down the place. Call the regional minister and interview her. Go to the presidency, and I therefore invite you. You would have all security clearance to check the way President Akufo-Addo has kept the Jubilee House. If that is the way it was handed over to him, and if there was anybody that would justify the budget, the expenditures of the presidency, and what we see today, so we'll be disabling the company.
Yeah, we'll do that. But Mustafa, what is curious, and it's the president of the republic, the new president, and any appointees, occupy Jubilee House for the better part of the last 1 month. And if we are still talking after 1 month, say the place is dirtier, then
if the government that understands poverty and what it takes to salvage poor people, being the leader, President John Dramani Mahama,
yes,
is not living to taste and saying that the most important thing is that I must do the business of the people of Ghana. In the last 1.5 months, he's been busy setting up government. In fact, the speed at which he is setting his government up is unprecedented. If you check the records, sometimes it even takes 1 year, 6 months, and suddenly setting up government every year. The fact that they have taken over government and operating from same at the presidency is not enough to say that it is not a dirty place, it has not been kept well, it has not been maintained properly. You will not see a bucket of papers and answer debris to say that the place is dirty. But if you see a place which is unkept to the standard of a presidency, you can see it. You can see it. That is a seat of government, the most civilized elite, highest prestige building of the state. But that was occupied by people who know dollars.
But why are we talking about this now? 1 month.
I'm talking about it now because we have to let Ghanaians know. Ghanaians must know that, you see, the MPP have agreed with President Akufo-Addo to just destroy this country. They've lived not just stealing money, not just mismanaging the economy, they have also failed to protect state properties. One of such properties are the various residences, including the Jubilee House, where President Akufo-Addo operated from. And so those sitting in parliament who are being dishonest, those sitting at the MPP headquarters who does not respect the fact that the people of Ghana voted on a particular reason and defending the rot and criminality of the previous government should know that they are being hypocritical. The reality